So let's dig in. I want everybody to go and grab a pen and paper because you're gonna need it. I'm gonna be providing some questions that you can ask yourself and an exercise for you to get this done in 5 minutes, and that's it. So no more questions. Oh, I need to choose a niche. Oh, I don't know what my niche is. Oh, I'm trying to figure out my niche. Grab a pen and paper. I'm gonna give you an exercise where you're gonna get it done in 5 minutes or less. Number one, we've got to talk about the fact that when we're choosing a niche, we are really concerned about ourselves. Are we really capable of providing content in that way? Do I know enough? Am I enough? Am I expert enough? What makes me an expert? Well, I have a newsflash for you guys. Ask better questions. Am I really good enough is not a good question. A good question would be, what can I provide that I'm great at? What am I an expert in? So look at the questions you're asking yourself about how you're choosing your niche. Also, what are you looking at? Are you comparing yourself to everyone else out there? I have a saying, I'm sure you've heard it before, where it's keep your eyes on your own lane, especially when you're choosing a niche, because so many people are thinking to themselves, oh, well, so many people are doing that, I need to be different. I don't know as much as them, I don't know enough, I don't know this, I don't know that. What do you know? Ask that question of yourself. And I bet that the first question we can ask is, what made you want to start this business? Why did you start this business? And I can bet that it was because you wanted to help people. That's generally, at least if you're watching this video and you're connected to me, it's likely because you wanted to help people. So if that's you, I'd love to hear it, either putting like a hand up in the comments or putting your like a yes, that's me, or a number 1 in the comments to share with me that that is why you started it, because you wanted to help people. Also, if you're open, I'd love to hear, why did you start your business? What was the specific reason that you started your business? So I'm gonna go with, it was likely in some way. So in some way it was because you wanted to help people, yes? So if you wanted to help people, what did you want to help people with? Why did you want to help people? Why did you want to help people? I'm gonna gather, or I'm gonna bet it was because something happened in your life that you are now no longer feeling that you wanted to help other people with. So what is it that you decided, I want to help people? What made you decide that? And I bet it was something to do with an experience you had or something you had done. So maybe sharing that in the comments, you can say, yes, like number 2, if it was something that you had an experience with that you wanted to share with other people. So see how when we ask better questions, when we ask questions that empower us, that look back at what we are good at, what brought us to this point in the first place, we get better answers. If I ask a shitty question like, who's gonna pay me? Or who is ever going to, who needs that? Struggling with life transitions. Okay, Stephanie says that she was struggling with life transitions. And so that's what brought her to wanting to help people with that, which brought you to starting your business, which is how you got here. So asking better questions of yourself, and that kind of brings me to the next point, which is stop talking to everyone and start talking to just one person. Just one person. If you were speaking with one person, what would you be saying right now? I want to help you with blank. Why do you want to help them with that? That is a way to know that your niche is something you struggled with and that you can help other people who are struggling. So Tristan says, I struggled with low confidence. So Tristan struggled with low confidence, which made her want to help people when she discovered coaching, which made her then start a coaching business. So she's helping people with low confidence, an experience she had that she moved through and is now able to be on the other side. So Layla says, one of my reasons, the untapped potential for women in corporate America. My industry is a male dominant and women do not get the same opportunity even when we are better. Totally agree. I think for all the women on this broadcast right now can say that if you've worked in corporate, you've experienced that to some degree. So that's one of those things that made me want to move forward with my business, was helping women in corporations or when they're working to either get out of that and start their own business, or to see that there was more for them, that they were not tapping into their full potential, just like Layla said. So that was an experience Layla had, and that is something that led her to want to help people, which led her to want to start her business. So looking at you, so that brings us to my third point, which is you are your ideal client. Everyone comes to this realization at their own time, but, and I'll tell you a story about mine, but everyone gets there because you are your ideal client, because you attract people who are like you. You're helping people who were where you were previously. You're helping people who are not at the space that you're at. So, Mike just joined. If you're a great writer, you're helping people who are not great at writing, but do want to be an author or to publish a book. So, Mike, now you might be a great author, great writer, but you're helping people who are not there yet. Yes. So, Elisa says, my ideal client is me 1 year ago, which is exactly my next question. So the question I wanted you all to write down was, last year at this time, what were you struggling with? What was the thing you were struggling with last year at this time? I'll share with you what I was struggling with. I was struggling with the fact that I wanted to launch a group program and I didn't know how. So I speak to people who want to launch a group program, who are like, what are the steps? What do I have to do? How am I going to facilitate that? How am I going to sell it? How am I going to get people to buy into it? What's the launch process? How can I do a webinar? All of these things are things I help people with because that was where I was a year ago, and that is how I can help them now because I've been through that experience. And so I'm speaking to those people who are struggling to launch their group program right now. So where were you a year ago, and what were you struggling with? And what did you need help with? What did you need to hear? What did you need to know to feel confident? What was getting in your way of investing and getting help? How did you get from where you were to where you are now? What helped you? By answering these questions in your journal, you will know your niche, know your ideal client, know how to speak to them, have your messaging down packed, because you're only speaking to you a year ago today. That's all you have to do in order to provide a service that is beneficial and that people can't wait to pay for because they're struggling. You were struggling with that exact thing. I used to think, and I just had this conversation with a person I'd emailed this to last year. Last year, I thought I didn't need a niche. I thought I could speak to everyone. Variety was the spice of life. Like I could help whoever. What I learned in this past year by working with my dream clients was that all of my dream clients are me last year. Or it's actually scary to hear them speak because they read all the same books I read, they like all the same people I like, they struggle with the same things, they're having the same experience